You can be victimized and not live as a victim. Here's the reality. There are people who misuse their agency in terrible ways, and it causes trauma and abuse. If you've experienced trauma or abuse, you have been victimized. You are a victim of circumstances that you had no power to control, create, or change. But that doesn't mean you have to live as a victim. You always have a choice on how to respond, and in that response is your personal power. And no one can take your personal power from you unless you give it to them. And even that is your choice. Here's where I want to pivot and talk about responsibility, choice, and your opportunity for growth. Years ago, there was a popular article circulating on social media. Maybe you've seen it. Trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. I saw it shared dozens of times, and truthfully, I didn't read it for the longest time. The reason is the word responsibility stood out to me. It felt heavy, like another weight or burden I had to carry around. Am I responsible? Responsible for another thing? Me? I have to do it? On top of friend and family relationships, furthering my education, my career, my own self-development, taking care of my car, vacations, serving others, staying in touch with friends, self-care. You get it. The list could go on and on. Now you're telling me I'm responsible for one more thing. I feel overwhelmed by an instant should. I should take care of that. I should be responsible for that. It is my responsibility. Have you ever heard the phrase, stop shoulding on yourself? It sounds a lot like another SH word. The word should drives a lot of shame and guilt. By the nature of being human, we are easily susceptible to shame and guilt. Brené Brown says, shame is a powerful human emotion. It is the fear that we're not good enough. For that reason, I put space between me and the emotions of shame and guilt, and anything that triggers those emotions inside of me. Brené Brown also says, shame cannot survive being spoken. It cannot survive empathy. Speaking in a healthy and supportive way about all the things that socially or culturally have been or can be misconstrued as shameful is one of the driving forces for why we do what we do at Mended Light. Our desire is to have healthy conversations in safe places because that is what nurtures healing and growth. So thank you for being a part of creating a safe space for healing, both your own and for others. So how do we confront shame when it pops up, as it does for all of us? For me personally, I watch the red flag words in my own internal dialogue of should and supposed to, and closely pay attention to the beliefs that follow after those words. When the thought pops into my mind, I should do, fill in the blank. I'm supposed to, fill in the blank. I immediately ask myself the following question. Is that judgment of should or supposed to serving me? Am I supporting and loving myself with that belief? Does that align with the highest and best version of myself? The whole process of addressing shame and guilt and the shoulds and supposed tos in our inner dialogue is a whole different video, but it is the reason that I put a pin in the thought, healing is your responsibility, and thought about it for a while before I gave myself another should or supposed to. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have responsibilities or that there is anything wrong with responsibilities. I have many, and I accept them willingly. What I'm saying is that we need to Marie Kondo our mind, that the most important place for you to be responsible for is what goes on in that beautiful brain of yours. And if you are not mindful and really, really clear on one, who you really are, and two, what is really important in your life, you're going to be pummeled by outside beliefs and expectations. You can easily be bombarded nonstop with the shoulds, supposed tos, and things you feel responsible for. Because if it is your responsibility, you should take care of it. If it is your responsibility, you're supposed to take care of it. Well, what if I don't know how to heal? What if I don't have the tools to heal? What if I'm dealing with a health crisis or a high needs child, or I'm in an abusive relationship, or I'm grieving from a tragedy and I just can't handle being responsible for one more thing? What if I've tried to heal, though nothing seems to work for long, and I've lost faith that healing is even possible? If healing is my responsibility and I'm not doing it or I don't know how, then that is one more thing I'm failing at. Cue the shame and guilt on top of the PTSD, anxiety, and feelings of worthlessness. Just in case you're wondering, PTSD, anxiety, worthlessness, and a myriad of other symptoms are your bedfellows in a post-trauma world. They go practically everywhere with you. For all those reasons, I would like to change the word responsibility to opportunity. Healing is your opportunity, meaning a time favorable for the purpose. When you choose to start or continue the process, that time is favorable for the purpose of healing. It is not a requirement, expectation, should, or supposed to. Healing is your opportunity to feel whole, loved, and worthy. Healing is your choice. It is in your ability to choose that resides the power for your life. Feeling like we don't have a choice is a common symptom of abuse and trauma. So I want to change the conversation around healing from the misdirected idea that it is your responsibility to the knowledge that healing is your opportunity. It is your choice, and it is where your power resides. Learning that principle and being able to apply it to your life is your personal growth journey. Healing can be your opportunity to comfort someone else that has been through a tragic circumstance. It gives you the unique ability to hold a space of love and understanding that can only be done by someone who has been refined by walking the fire of that path. It gives you the unique opportunity to show by example that there is peace, joy, and self-worth even after tragedy. Healing is your opportunity to rebuild the foundation of your life that was shattered when the trauma occurred. In rebuilding your foundation, it becomes even stronger than it was before. You learn to trust, love, and appreciate yourself in a way that was previously not possible. Healing is not who you are in spite of tragedy. Healing is who you have become because you have risen from the grief of adversity. When you understand that, you become a light of hope. You embody wholeness, worth, and virtue. Your light of hope ignites others and shows them the way. I love the quote, "There is no darkness so dense, so menacing, or so difficult that it cannot be overcome by the light." Please remember that. And if your healing journey is too much for you today, it's okay to put that up on a shelf. It's okay to take a rest until you're ready for the next step. This is your path. Allow yourself to discover it. I'd love to hear any ahas or thoughts that you've had during this video, so please share with me below. And will you do me a favor? If you know anyone that needs to hear this message today, will you please share it with them? It would mean the world to me. And remember to keep shining. We need your light.